Let's talk a little bit about the challenges of a video podcast, like what we've encountered, what we feel like when we're doing it like remotely, and then how we're like our strategic approach to YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you get started on that?
Okay. So it will be edited out of the episode, but Darsh and I just had a connection issue where we basically both froze on each other's end. We use Zoom for these podcast recording sessions. Then we both also record our audio separately, and then Luke is like a mastermind and edits it all together. So I think the first thing is technical issues. Like, do you remember, what was it, episode 3? I had to record in a totally different place because the Wi-Fi wasn't working in this room.
Yeah, I remember that. And like, I think that's one of the greatest things. That was actually pretty good that we weren't doing video at the time too, because it would have thrown off the entire set.
That would have sucked.
Yes, like the huge thing is just honestly, like we are remote. We've never really said that we weren't. Like we've always been like, we're doing this remotely. Like both Jacklyn and I are in different countries.
That's crazy to think about. Yeah.
That's crazy to think. I think we're one of the only podcasts that does that. Because like from my understanding, all the podcasts I listen to is two people sitting in the same room. You and I are doing this over Zoom. I think that's really, it gives us an edge. It's differentiation at its finest.
Although, like, something about in-person podcasts, which obviously people aren't really doing now either, like, the angles look a little bit better because you can get, like, the wide angle of, like, both people at, like, the desk. But I think we're doing pretty well considering that it is remote.
Yeah, no, I think based on the fact that it is remote, we're still doing pretty good. And I think that just the way that we've set it up, I think it's great. So if you guys are watching or even listening, definitely let us know what you guys think of the video, like of the quality of it, the quality of the audio, everything. Just give us some feedback. We love hearing your feedback.
What would you say is like the biggest challenge that we faced with converting to like video as well? Okay.
This is just like, this might be just, like, you know, I think this is for you too. The camera, like being able to keep your camera rolling for this much time. And like, so like, at least for me, I only have one battery. So it's kind of like, if this dies, like I'm screwed. Like,
oh yeah, true. What did you do last time?
No, I just make sure my camera's fully charged.
Wow, I'm surprised it lasts though.
Podcast only runs for like 45 minutes. We're recording and like we're actually just like talking for at least an hour and a half whenever we're like we do the setup and talk and stuff in between. So like usually I turn off my camera whenever I can, and then you gave me the idea of keeping my battery door open, which I'm doing for this episode. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue has literally been my camera, because like for all of my videos before I started doing the podcast, I didn't realize that my like camera could be connected to my screen. And I could just see it on like my monitor. Like I'm literally looking at my monitor right now. The camera's right here, monitor's up here, and it's just it's so different.
How do you do it? So is it just like an HDMI cable or like
what's the setup? The A6300 has a mini HDMI, so I have that connected to my monitor.
Okay.
My monitor only has one HDMI port, so I have an HDMI switcher.
Okay.
So that I can have my Xbox, my laptop, and my camera connected to it, because my new A-roll angle for videos is going to be in a similar spot, so I don't have to, because I was using like Sony's, they have like a remote app.
Yeah,
so I was using that for remote monitoring, and I'm like, this is so laggy, like, and I'd have to like, it would just be really weird to try to get myself in focus, because I've talked about this before, like my camera is manual, it's manual focus.
Yeah.
So like everything is so much, it's like a lengthier process, I guess.
That's interesting. I also would say that one thing that's really interesting actually is that you and I are normally like on the same wavelength and we normally like agree about everything, but it's super interesting. You probably know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we were working on the first draft of the videos with Luke and like figuring out the style that we want to do on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of keen on no background for when we're side by side, just like us full screen next to each other. And you were more keen on the background effect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first time that we've had like a different perspective on something.
Yeah.
And I think that's like super interesting. This actually is a great time to plug it. Let us know which one you prefer, because we're still obviously like in the deciding process. So if you watch it on the YouTube channel, let us know which one you like better. I don't think that there's necessarily like one that looks horrible.
Mm-hmm. I think they both look good.
Yeah, I think that they both look pretty good, but I think it's like, it's interesting obviously because with audio, there's not as many like decisions.
Yeah.
But with video, there's
so many more decisions, especially with editing and like everything like that. The entire process is completely different.
Yeah, but like I feel like for the most part, you and I like are always aligned. But that was just like a small one that isn't really a big deal either way.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what people think about both of them. I actually the background grew on me a little bit. Like I still don't love it, but I like it a lot more than I did when I initially saw it.